And then, where is the Bloodline's darkened room, do you think? Because it has a different wall than all the other places in the arena. Do you think they bring their own brick wall in?
I think they bring lots of walls wherever they go.
Well, they were in their dark room, and the bone of contention with Solo tonight is that if somebody teams up with Cody, they're going to be disrespecting the tribal chief tonight. And in that case, somebody's going to pay the price. But we don't have to wait too long to find out who that's going to be, because we're in the back, and there is, as Cody is walking, Kevin Owens walks up to him, rapping his fists. So he's the partner, and there we go. Cody and Owens versus Waller and Theory. But you know that the Bloodline is just going to have to do something about this. That's, hopefully why you're sticking around. And it was a regular tag team match. Nothing was wrong with it besides, to me, Grayson Waller. Waller and Theory remind me of a great tag team for the past. Do you know who?
No.
George Goulas and Bobby Eaton.
Why did I think you were going to say George Goulas?
If I think about George Goulas and Bobby Eaton, because George had no physique. He had awkward body movements. He couldn't work. His promos were annoying. And Nick teamed him up with the best in-ring performer in the company to sell for the heels and to give him the tag. George Goulas and Bobby Eaton, Waller and Theory, same principle. So anyway, they built for the heat on Owens for a hot tag to Cody. And then again, I don't know if they're just not teaching it these days, or the heels drop the ball or whatever. But they set up a hot tag for Cody, but they do simultaneous tags from Waller to Theory and Owens to Cody at the same time. And Waller rolls out, and Cody makes comeback on Theory by himself. And yes, it may fit into the story that Waller is using Theory, but get some excitement for your babyface's comeback and double feed him. Good Lord. Anyway, Cody did a good comeback. They blind tagged and stopped Cody. And then they got in a four-way, and Waller bumped to the floor, and Cody pinned Theory. Boom. Went to Crossroads. And then here comes the Bloodline music. This is what we've been waiting for. And out comes Solo and both of the Tongas, Tama and Loa. And they get in a fight, and the baby faces were about to powerbomb Solo through the announce desk, and here came the Samoan werewolf. Arr!
Oh, come on, stop that.
Arr!
You make it like you're Ishii.
See, I'm an affectionate werewolf.
All right. No one needs to hear Jim Cornette animal noises.
Anyway.
We can all agree on that.
Well, it just depends on what kind of animal you are. So Jacob Fatu stops all of them, and he puts Owens in the corner and starts giving him the multiple running asses to the face and head while they make Cody watch, again like they did with Orton and blah, blah, blah. And then Jacob gives him the diving headbutt, and then they go out and they triple powerbomb Cody through the announce desk and then put a chair around Owens' neck and run him into the post and decapitate him, and we're off the air. So we started good, we had something in the middle, and we finished good, and the intervening hour and 45 minutes in between all of that stuff was kind of...
You happy with the way Jacob Fatu is being used?
Well, I mean, by God, the only other thing he could do is go out there and fucking lay waste to the entire audience. He's beating up every babyface he's come in contact with. So yes, I mean, this is the way you make somebody dangerous and a star. And it seems like now they're settling into where old Tonga Loa doesn't wrestle, and he's just kind of there to take some bumps, and Tama Tonga is kind of a utility guy in the middle, and Jacob is the the badass, which is kind of about what it ought to be. So I believe they've got their formula. And of course, Solo is the tribal chief.
I can't stop watching Tangaloa now. I'm waiting for him to fuck something up. Ever since we saw those videos from New Japan and then he blew the nut shot the other day.
I think that's why they're probably keeping things to a minimum with old Loa. How much lower can you go up?
So in terms of the booking here, Cody's wrestling solo at SummerSlam. The Bloodline have taken out Orton. Now they've taken out Owens. Roman Reigns, we just brought up recently the idea of what if Roman teams up with Cody before we eventually get Roman and Cody ever again. At some point, Roman has to come back. The other thought I had, tell me if it's crazy, Cody's going to need someone to help him against the Bloodline, against a maniac like Jacob Fatu. Who did Cody have a feud with after WrestleMania last year that ended with mutual respect, a handshake? Brock Lesnar.
Brock Lesnar.
Who Paul Heyman could get on the phone and send to help defeat the new Bloodline.
I think it's early for that right now, if only because the Bloodline, all of the new guys need to be established more before they get in the ring with Brock.
Imagine the next time that music hits. We haven't heard Brock's music hit in forever. He's going to get the biggest babyface pop of all time. Well, one of them. Well, not of all time, but of recent days.
Of recent memory of young people who might potentially do a lot of fucking weed and don't have good short-term memories. Go ahead.
If Brock Lesnar, if that music hit to save Cody Rhodes, it would be massive.
Yeah, I agree with that. And again, the Heyman involvement is out there with can be with several people now. Can be with Brock, can be with Punk.
Like if you want to bring Brock in, it's been a long time now, and you're trying to get it past everything that happened, obviously, for WWE. What better way to do it than that? And again, it makes sense not just with the Heyman end, but when he feuded with Cody, they ended with mutual respect. Brock accepted him. You would have to think that's the kind of person Brock would work with. I want to say work with, in kayfabe, would come back and team with and help.
Because he was sitting up there in Saskatoon and he saw on television that the man needed a hand.
And he doesn't like the Bloodline. He doesn't like any version of the Bloodline. So, but we'll see. But
he doesn't even like blood tests.
I guess that's the point. We've been doing this now for a couple of years where you try to fantasy book where they're going to go with the Bloodline. You may get elements of it right, but there's always so many things they can do and so many ways they do take it. It's still the most interesting and compelling angle in professional wrestling.
Well, there you have it. And that's the way they closed up SmackDown. And I'm telling you what, Brian, again this week, when the show is over, the big contract signing for SummerSlam, LA Knight, Logan Paul, all these other things happening, going on, the girls arguing with each other. You needed to get on your telephone and call somebody and tell them all about it, didn't you? Yeah, that's the first thing you did. You got on your phone and you called a close personal acquaintance and told them what had happened with Grayson Waller.
No, not right away. 10 o'clock is when Bill Maher starts on Friday, so I usually go right from this to that, so I could at least try to catch some of that before I fall asleep. But if I was awake, I'm sure I would have been calling everybody.
Well, yeah, you would have just been calling and you'd have been sending pictures and you'd have been texting and you would have been up all night because it wouldn't cost you a penny extra if you have the deal, the big plan, the big plot, the phone plot from Mint Mobile. Because then you're paying $15 a month, you get everything. You get the unlimited talk, you get the unlimited text, you get the high-speed data, and that's data that moves at even faster speeds than the low-speed data. Some people have that. They're trying to save money. You can't save any more money with Mint Mobile because it wouldn't be any cheaper if they gave it to you. $15 a month. That is, I carry the two, about 4. That's 50 cents a day. And now imagine just one phone call, Brian, could change your life. One text could change your life. One picture that you might send to somebody could change your life, whether positively or negatively. It all depends. And isn't that worth 50 cents a day?
For only 50 cents a day, you can help yourself to a good mobile plan.
Yes. And heaven knows that the Lord helps those who help themselves. That's been said many times in many ways. So help yourself to a Mint Mobile phone plan for $15 a month. And right now you can go to mintmobile.com/JCE. The /JCE is where you get in on this thing. And if you're a new customer, now you can't just double dip. If you're an old customer, they've already given you a goddamn hell of a deal. So just get your hand out of their pocket, why don't you? Fucking mooches. We're talking about new customers, 3-month premium wireless plan, $15 a month, $45 total. No loopholes or gimmicks or extra added fees involved, except for the additional taxes, fees, and restrictions that may or may not apply. But you got to check it out to see. But you're still saving money. Do you realize, Brian, that even if you paid 60 cents a day, it would still be cheaper than if you were paying 75 cents a day? But you're only paying 50 cents a day.
I never thought of that before.
Well, it's simple mathematics. So right now, mintmobile.com/JCE, get this plan where you can do all of your telephone business one place as much as you want. And, some of you are being real assholes. I understand that a lot of people are just texting people at random for no reason, just because they can do it at no extra charge with Mint Mobile. That's ridiculous.
I haven't heard about that, but you can do what you want with Mint Mobile and your own phone. What's that promo code?
They had it on the TV news. This one woman in Oshkosh, Wisconsin.
The TV news.
She was complaining that she was getting text from just all kinds of people in Des Plaines, Illinois through Mint Mobile, and they're harassing her because they say it's totally free. They can text her as many times as they want. Doesn't cost them another penny. Gladys Frumpwater.
All right. Well, a penny saved is a penny earned, and you can't earn anything, but you could save money with Mint Mobile today. A great plan is ready for you. What's that promo code?
You can earn a healthy respect. Respect for the people at Mint Mobile.
Well, who cares about the respect from them? I mean, no one's going to buy a phone for that reason.
You want to do business with them for the rest of your life now because they're respected in the community. Mintmobile.com/JCE, $15 a month, 3 months, $45. You figure it out. It's swell.
All right.
What in the world is going on over there at the Arcadian Vanguard Network this week? And since there's nothing going on in wrestling for the past 3 days.
Another action-packed week on the Arcadian Vanguard Podcast Network. No matter what's happening, you can find out about it each and every day from the Wrestling News, wherever you find your favorite podcast, or go directly to thewrestlingnews.com for your free daily wrestling morning newscast. Get all the news, no clickbait, no paywall, just the Wrestling News.
And you don't have to listen to it in the morning either. You could listen to it in the afternoon if you don't get up until then.
That's exactly right. And of course, there are different time zones. And no matter what time zone you are in, get information about all the shows on Twitter at Superpodcast or on Facebook at facebook.com/Arcadian Vanguard. Want to make mention of something. Speaking of Facebook, the Cult of Cornette Facebook group, we're going to be doing a little bit of a contest there soon. Thanks to our friend Sean Ng from KWK. I got one of these here.
By the way, have we got everybody in there yet, or are they still waiting in line?
There's still a lot of people waiting in line, but I think we're over 14,000 that we've reviewed and let in so far. But thanks to Sean Ng from KWK, we have two different variants here of the new PN News action figure for all those big PN News fans. So we're going to do a contest. Whoever can write the best rap for the show, you'll win one of these PN News action figures. So
does Heyman's count?
Does Heyman's what?
Heyman's rap.
No, it has to be an original. It can't be someone else's rap.
His name is PN News, and he raps all the time, but the funny thing about him is his raps don't rhyme. We know that he can sing, and we know that he can dance, but with a belly that size, how do he make romance?
Well, that's the official Cult of Cornette Facebook group. Want to make mention also, of Stick to Wrestling with John McAdam. Another fine episode. Listener questions, looking at a lot of questions from 1985, and of course, the overarching look at the WWF's national expansion in 1984. McAdampod.com, or look for Stick to Wrestling with John McAdam, wherever you find your favorite podcasts. And of course, the 605 Superpodcast, The Mothership. Not going to go full throat right now because I may burn myself out, but go through the archive, 605pod.com. Part 1 of the Scott Cornish tribute is up right now. It looks like we may actually have to make this a 3-parter, so stay tuned. We're going to try to get Part 2 up this week, but go through the archives and listen to Part 1, 605pod.com, or wherever you find your favorite podcasts. The Mothership.